Hyundai launched the Ioniq 5 at Auto Expo this year. It initially came out at a price tag that was set 1 lakh lower than what it currently is, and that was for the first 500 customers. But it's gone up by a lakh, but it's still a great deal on wheels at 45.95 lakhs. I'm here actually to take it out for a spin, drive it around sunny Goa, and tell you all about this amazing futuristic vehicle that Hyundai's come out with. I'm Vikram Gore, you're watching MotorScribes, and this video is all about the Ioniq 5. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is one good-looking car. But did you know that it pays homage to its past, its legacy, Hyundai's legacy? Because its design is inspired by the Pony, which came out in 1974. It was Hyundai's first passenger vehicle, and that timeless design has what is translated over to what we see as the Ioniq 5. Of course, there's a little bit of origami-inspired design elements that have been tossed in for good measure, and that is exactly how the Ioniq 5 was born. Looking at it from the front, what you do see is an interplay of parametric pixel representations within the headlights, which you've got these beautiful LED headlamps. The dual projector lights have a unique pixel signature, and that actually captures what the Ioniq 5 is all about. I love the way that they're deep set and almost sinister-like, and it looks really, really nice. The front bumper again has a great sense of symmetry, and it is also drawing its inspiration from Hyundai's sensuous sportiness design theme. So it's again got these creases, these surfaces that really play out well in the light and give the Ioniq its futuristic look. Up front you also get these really cool LED accent lights, which again bring out the design element of the Ioniq 5 and looks absolutely stellar. Lower down in the front bumper, you've actually got the active air flaps. These air intakes actually improve energy efficiency because they can close and they can open depending on the need to cool the vehicle parts, so as you're moving along. And when they're shut, obviously they increase aerodynamics and therefore aid with efficiency as well. The bonnet is a clamshell design. It's got these great character lines on it, and it just looks so striking when you view this vehicle from the front. From the side, you can see that those origami kind of lines carry over to the doors, and you've got these beautiful surfaces that have been done up really well. Of course, the highlight when you view the vehicle from the side are the massive 20-inch alloy wheels, which again have a pixel design within them. And at the rear, you've got the parametric pixel LED tail lamps. You've got the rear spoiler with a high mount stoplight, and you've got the Ioniq 5 emblem that is nicely branded across the back. Again, the surfaces all look fantastic. You can walk around this car and really soak in all the elements, including the flush door handles, and of course, like I pointed out earlier, the Z-shaped character lines. Put it all together and you've got an iconic looking machine that has a sense of timelessness to it. And I think that that is really what Hyundai has managed to capture in terms of the visual appeal of the Ioniq 5. Get inside the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and you're greeted with a very opulent cabin. It's got this minimalistic design feel to it, but it's very upmarket. The texture to the surfaces, the seats, everything, it just feels so rich. What do you get with the Ioniq 5 in terms of comfort and convenience features? Well, let's take a look. The opulent cabin of the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is done up in a dark pebble gray color. And you've actually got light seats and the dark gray across the dash, which again has a great play in terms of bringing out that essence of minimalistic design that looks future-ready, futuristic, and extremely plush. Key highlights obviously include the premium seat upholstery that's done up in eco-processed leather, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, which looks extremely neat, and you've got beautiful steering mounted controls on it, a soft touch dashboard and door trims. You also get the pixel design across the door armrest, seat upholstery and steering wheel. So there's no mistaking what the Ioniq 5's main design theme is. You've also got a magnetic dashboard. So right next to the dual screens, there's a little space for you where you can actually stick up little memos and sort of customize the car and give it a bit of a homely feel to it. After all, Hyundai is saying that the Ioniq 5 is your home away from home, and the cabin has been designed in that manner. So other key highlights of the cabin, as I mentioned, you've got the eco-processed leather that they use. The headlining and carpet fabric in the Ioniq 5 is made from bio-components extracted from sugarcane and corn. It also uses paint that is processed from flowers, so it's bio-paint. And it is also the first vehicle to use 100% recyclable paperette made from HDPE, which is traditional paper actually, but has been customized to be waterproof and is used in the door detailing. The fabrics that are used are from recycled bottles. So there's a lot of sustainability that goes into making the Ioniq 5. And using these sustainable processes and a lot of recycled materials brings out the essence of what the Ioniq 5 is all about. I mean, being electric is about going green, but then taking it up a notch with all these recycled materials is the added touch to it. What I particularly loved about the Ioniq 5, as far as it comes to the cabin, is yes, you get an abundance of space. The seats are great. They're absolutely fantastic. But the fact that you can slide the center console, adjust it to your liking, I thought that was a very cool touch to the cabin. And thanks to the flat floor of the eGMP platform, this is one of the few things that Hyundai has been able to do. You get a glove box that's more like a glove drawer. It actually slides out, it doesn't fold down. And that's again a very neat, innovative touch to how a glove box should be designed. Once you experience this, you wish that every single car on the planet had a sliding glove box rather than the one that folds down. And yeah, the flat floor, the innovative seating, all of that plays its role in bringing out a beautiful experience while on board. But talking about the seats themselves, the front and rear seats are electronically adjustable. The front seats actually can be reclined to a level that Hyundai likes to call the zero gravity position, where it's extremely comfortable. You can lay back, stare out of the massive panoramic glass roof, and just enjoy being on board the vehicle and just kicking back and relaxing. The rear seats, they can be moved forward and back, and you can also recline them to a certain degree, which again improves overall comfort on board. And leg space on board the Ioniq 5 is nothing to complain about, even for the tallest of people that I know. So once you are on board with the Ioniq 5 and are seated inside, it's very hard to get you out. I mean, you just want to sit in there. You really appreciate every little touch, every little surface, and the way that it's been done up. Of course, creature comforts include wireless charging, your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the dual digital screen console, as well as the fact that you've got the beautiful panoramic sunroof, like I pointed out. So these are just some of the major highlights that you get. You also get a beautiful Bose audio system on board, which again plays to your need of convenience, comfort, and sort of sitting back, laying back, and enjoying what is otherwise a rather silent machine. Well, Well, I have elaborated on the exteriors and the interiors. What you do get with the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is also a load of convenience features. So to start with, you've got the remote access to the charging port, which I think is very cool. Just from the key fob, you press a button and that flap flips up. It looks extremely elegant, and I think that's a very nice, convenient touch. Under the hood, because it has just got the rear-mounted engine, you actually get a frunk. A frunk is a trunk up front, and that gives you added loading space for you to carry extra knickknacks along with you while you're out on your travels. So that's again a great touch. The boot itself is extremely spacious. You can get a ton of luggage in there, and Hyundai has really thought it through. There is no spare tire on board with the Ioniq 5, but you do get a tire kit. So don't fret. If you do have a puncture, you can just pull out this kit, use it, and it will allow you to get to the closest tire shop and get your tires sorted out. The boot lid is electronically operated, so it can open with the key fob, and you also have a little button to shut it, which is again something that adds to the overall convenience of the Ioniq 5. You also get heated outside mirrors with integrated LED turn indicators. You've got rain sensing wipers, and if we get back inside, we've got ventilated and heated seats, with the rear getting heated seats, but the front row getting cooling and heating seats. You've got the wireless phone charger on board. You've got the massive glass roof. It comes with this interesting blind that opens from the center and rolls out. So there's no center partition that you see in conventional vehicles. So that's again some of the convenience features that go with the Ioniq 5. And I think that practicality is something that Hyundai has always been about, and being rich on features is another element that has been a brand focus for them. You've got an interesting feature called the vehicle to load feature, which is available both inside and outside. So you've got a plug point that's located under the rear seat, and from here you can operate laptops, phones, and other devices. The port allows you to even operate a small coffee machine if need be. So that's very neat, and you can do that in the convenience of the Ioniq 5 cabin. You can use the outside port to run slightly larger appliances. So if you do go camping, it gives you that ability to operate. I think it's got a 3.5 kilowatt hour output or a 3.3 kilowatt output, somewhere in that range, which gives you the benefit of powering up the lights at your campsite or enjoying an evening out. So machines that can run on this is an electric guitar, a coffee maker, a microwave. So just imagine you go out for a weekend getaway, and your Ioniq 5 is like that ultimate Swiss Army knife that you need with you to take your camping level to a different state and really enjoy an evening out. It's more like the ultimate glamping tool, if I have to sum it up. So that's vehicle to load for you, which is again a highlight convenience feature that comes with the Ioniq 5. Powering the Ioniq 5 is a rear-mounted electric motor that is paired with a 72.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and it delivers 217 PS of power and 350 Newton meters of torque. According to the test reports, the Ioniq 5 has a range of 631 kilometers to a single charge. Obviously, in real-world conditions, that comes down a bit, but it's still immensely practical. And with the way that the charging infrastructure is growing in India, I think using an Ioniq 5 to go on a road trip or even get around between two cities is actually not a challenge anymore. It's obviously a very refined motor. It's extremely silent on board, and the power delivery is seriously on point. with this. You do have drive mode select, is this neat button on the steering wheel. So you can switch between eco, normal and sport mode. And in sport mode, you can actually do 0 to 100 in 7.6 seconds flat. So that is an extremely impressive bit of performance right there for you. And of course, being a high-end electric vehicle, you've got the regen settings that you can choose with the paddle shifts. So between 0 and to a very high level, so you can go up to level 3. And that's again something that helps you extend your range and drive wisely. I've always said that when it comes to electric vehicles, we kind of need to relearn how to drive, not because driving them is any different in terms of managing them on the road, but in terms of using the systems on board and getting the best out of the vehicle. So that is something that needs to be taken care of. And as we go along, I'm quite sure that it'll become second nature to all of us to use regen mode correctly and extend the range of the vehicle. But as far as being behind the wheel of the Ioniq 5, I can tell you that the experience of driving it is something that really wins you over. It powers up seamlessly. You step on the accelerator, you get that surge of power, and because of the platform and the battery pack right at the bottom, you've got this really low center of gravity. So it kind of feels like this SUV is hugging the road at all times. Handling is again on point. The steering feels great, and at no point do you actually feel that it is too heavy. So taking it around some of the roads in Goa, some of the twisty, narrow roads where I could notch it up to slightly higher speeds, it really felt calm and composed. And I think that that's what Hyundai wanted to deliver with this, a vehicle that is exceptional on all counts. And when it comes to driving it, that's the feeling that you get as well. So I did have my doubts about the ground clearance. It's about 165 mm. But when I went over most of the speed breakers on some bad roads and, dealt with all of that, I realized that I actually had nothing to worry about, because the ground clearance is actually more than apt for our roads. And that is actually a winning point for the Ioniq 5. We've seen other electric vehicles having extremely low ground clearance, and it kind of hurts your heart when you hear that scraping, because your batteries are down there. But with the Ioniq 5, I never had to go through that, so that is definitely a plus in my books. And being behind the wheel, it's a vehicle you feel you could drive all day, something you could take out on a nice long drive, and you're comfortable, it's composed, it's refined. I can't toss out any more adjectives at it, but that's what you get when you're on board with the Ioniq 5. Your mind just wants to describe all those senses that you're feeling, and it feels great. You can't really talk about an electric vehicle without talking about battery charging technology. And the Hyundai Ioniq 5 supports multi-high-speed charging from a 400 volt and 800 volt charging systems. So on a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger, the Ioniq 5 can be charged from 10 to 80% in just 80 minutes. On a regular DC fast charger, the ones that we see coming up across most of the large cities in India, it would take a little under an hour to charge the Ioniq 5. You've also got the 11 kilowatt charging system, which is something that will charge it up in a couple of hours from 0 to 100. So it's an interesting setup. It's there for you to improve on your overall usage and convenience. And I think Hyundai has really thought through on the battery front as well. When it comes to safety features, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is second to none. It's fitted with 21 Hyundai Smart Sense ADAS features. Some of the key ones include forward collision warning, you've got the blind spot collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, safe exit warning, high beam assist, the lane follow assist, and the rear cross traffic collision warning, and the rear occupant alert. So all of these functions, as we've come to learn, the ADAS level 2 systems, you know, they are your autonomous level 2 driving system. So keep your hands on the wheel, but in case you do lose a little bit of your alertness, the car will step in and do its thing. It's got a front camera, a front radar, and a rear radar that help monitor these systems. But in total, when we're talking about safety systems on board, the Ioniq 5 actually has a total of 60 safety features. And that is just absolutely astounding, if you ask me. So just to run a few numbers off of you, you've got 6 airbags on board, you've got the electric parking brake, you've got disc brakes on all 4 wheels, it's got multi-collision avoidance braking, it's got a power child lock, and a virtual engine sound system. Because it is so silent, so it needs a virtual sound to alert pedestrians especially that the car is actually coming towards them. So taking this into account, it's an extremely safe place to be. It's built tough. The eGMP platform is their global modular platform on which future Ioniq models will be based on as well. And it is obviously something that has to cater to global norms. And I don't think there's any fight when it comes to just how safe the Ioniq 5 is. So there you have it, folks, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, a vehicle that's so futuristic that maybe it's ahead of its time, but we have it here and now in the present. It delights on all counts, an opulent interior, a brilliant electric drive, fantastic on range, and when you think about the entire package, the price isn't all that bad either. In fact, I would say it's actually a winning price. So you have a beautiful luxury SUV coming out from Hyundai that's all electric, and it is just absolutely stunning. That's my summary of what this vehicle is all about. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I do like hearing back from you as well, so do drop me a line in the comment section below. I do answer all those comments. We at MotorScribes are all about building out the community. So if you do have questions about the Ioniq 5 or anything that you want to highlight or more details that you want pertaining to the car, do write in and I will get back to you.